Hey everyone! The other day I found myself putting out the washing, a very menial sort of task if there ever was one. You know, the sun was shining, there was a sense of spring in the air and the hope that comes along with it, and there was a gentle breeze with the promise of a quick dry. All the ingredients for a successful outcome. As I reached for the peg basket, it slipped from my hands and the 70 oddly matched and mismatched plastic pegs sprayed themselves across the lawn. "Expletive!" I yelled, or something like that, as the physical feelings of frustration swept across my body. You know, the typical ones, tensing up of the shoulders and the neck and the jaw clenching, the faster heartbeat and the hot flush across my face. For goodness sake, my body was suddenly in full frustration mode, all over a peg basket. It struck me as being just a little OTT. But it was a useful reminder of when I was a principal and how frustration never really seemed to make an appointment. Instead, it would just stroll into my office and plonk itself down on the chair opposite my desk, start chewing noisily. Some days it felt like frustration had its own key to my office. There were times when I carefully planned a solid block of time to finally look at the new curriculum refresh documents or start my overdue strategic plan. Instead, my morning could easily be sabotaged with a fire alarm going off because someone thought it was a good idea to toast a hot cross bun in the staff room microwave. Or there was that parent email that arrived just telling me that we'd failed their child because she didn't get the part she wanted in the school's talent show. You know, stuff like that. Or the message from a teacher that they needed me to watch their class for half an hour while they headed off to a doctor's appointment. That's frustration. Not the dramatic kind, more the drip, 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 drip kind. The stuff that saps your energy long before morning tea. Frustration seems to almost stalk the relentless swirl that leaders constantly find themselves in. Right now it seems like it's swirling faster than ever. Often you're not only the principal, but also a relief teacher, a caretaker, a social worker, or even a face just to vent at. The ministry fires through new initiatives with all the urgency of a fire hose, and you're expected to embed them by yesterday, or at the very least respond to them in the name of consultation by the day before. Throw in a board that wants financial miracles, and a community that thinks school is a 24/7 customer service centre, and frustration isn't an occasional visitor, it's a flatmate. The danger, of course, is letting it settle in permanently. Unchecked frustration breeds cynicism. Personally, I'd rather keep my cynicism to a healthy skepticism. But it's when you find leaders muttering, "Why do I bother?" or counting down the days to the next holidays or even retirement like they're getting out of prison. Well, that's not healthy. Of course, there's another truth. Frustration can also be a signal. It's your brain saying, hey, something's not right here. Maybe the system's broken. Maybe you need to reset your boundaries. Maybe you just need a decent coffee. I once spent an entire staff meeting frustrated because half the team were on their phones. I was about to launch into some sermon about professionalism when I realised they were frantically trying to book their COVID boosters before the slots disappeared. Frustration turned into perspective in about 3 seconds flat. Perspective is a very valuable antidote, and that particular antidote would have been very useful when I was putting out the washing. It was certainly a perfect day for drying. You know, humour helps too. You can't control the ministry timelines, but you can find ways to laugh at the absurdity of a 47-page document that might claim to streamline teacher workload. If you don't laugh, you'll cry, and laughing at least gets you through until lunchtime. So what do you do with everyday frustration? Well, I reckon you notice it, you name it, and you decide whether to fix it, park it, or just laugh at it. Sometimes you'll push back on the system, sometimes you'll shrug and say, not my circus, not my monkeys. And sometimes you'll walk out to the playground, watch a bunch of kids invent an entire new sport with a half-flat ball, and remind yourself why you're here in the very first place. Frustration might always have a key to your office, but it doesn't get to redecorate.